And we're here at Amoeba Music Berkeley with the man who matters, Elif.
Oh, thank you, Billy Jam.
Thank you. And hip hop is alive and well in 2015, right?
Yeah, plenty of stuff dropping. No slowing down in that regard. So we just dig right in here. Latest we have here is from Raekwon. Fly International Luxurious Art, going back to his more flashy side of the Raekwon spectrum. And you can tell from the guests, actually, you know, he's got like Snoop Dogg and A$AP Rocky. Of course, Ghostface is on there too, with Rick Ross, strangely enough. We can tell also from this, like the guest list and the producers, like Hit Boy, who made this, that is sort of like more in the flashy vein of Raekwon. I'm still sure it's pretty cool. I haven't listened to it personally, but that's one new thing. This just dropped today, Clear Soul Force's new album, a group out of Detroit who got a significant buzz. This one's produced by this guy Nameless, who I know has done some other albums with Detroit people. Pretty cool video game-esque kind of cover here.
Right.
And yeah, just some soulful Detroit hip-hop.
It's amazing how much good music is coming out of Detroit.
Yeah, like Detroit has a very significant scene.
Yeah.
In terms of really major stuff, we have the new Tyler, the Creator, Cherry Bomb, which comes in
I thought it was a
all
different cover.
kinds of different covers.
Oh, I see. Okay, because that's the cover I had seen.
This
one,
cover. So it's the only two up front. There's a couple of other covers out there too. But yeah, I heard this is a lot jazzier than the average Tyler, the Creator thing. I haven't really, you know, the Odd Future thing is not really my camp or whatever.
I was going to ask you a quick question, Evan.
Yeah.
With the whole Odd Future, do you think it kind of lived up to the hype and anticipation of when they first arrived on the scene?
Well, as far as the lasting value of their popularity, I would say yes.
Because they're still major label, right? This is major.
I mean, oh yeah. No, their stuff drops and sells a million units every time.
Right.
No, I'm not going to say that I particularly subscribe to that whole camp of hype, but it's cool that they're doing their thing and, you know, like making a name for themselves
and maintaining in popularity.
And maintaining their popularity.
Okay.
Probably Earl Sweatshirt is one of the more talented out of that crew. He just dropped a new thing too.
Right.
I don't like shit. I don't go outside is the name of that. Notice these covers because the new Drake we have here too. If you're reading this, it's too late. Very minimal, right?
Yeah, very.
It's like the white on black,
and
or
especially
black on
for
white.
like a Cash Money release.
And more. So yeah, this new Drake. So tons of like really huge hip hop things dropping recently.
It's like the anti-bling.
And of course,
layout.
you can't forget my favorite of all time, the new Insane Clown Posse album.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
This is apparently the marvelous missing link. The third Joker's card in the almighty second deck.
Right.
Featuring such songs as Confederate Flag and I'll Keep My Hatchet. So we can all jump to what that's gonna sound like.
Okay.
But on the cooler musical tip, this Young Z album apparently being out of print for a long time, just dropped recently. I know some people are pretty hyped about this. It's one of the cats from The Outsiders, if I'm not mistaken, with Pace One and those dudes. It's an older album. It's from the 90s. But definitely been out for a while. Fat Beats was kind enough to reissue it to people, so that's cool. Mac Mall, like you're saying,
yes.
Legal Business reissue, very recent. If you're into Fizz Nation, you should go check that one. And this one I'm a big fan of, a new project from Lord Finesse. It was actually put out last year in a different format, but it's the SB1200 project, Reawakening, and it's actually sort of just beats from Lord Finesse. Very 90s sounding. You know, I'm sure some of them probably are from the 90s or like older beats of his, but if you're into that sort of traditional jazzy hip hop, like DITC kind of vein thing, you probably dig that one a lot. But I also want to cover some things that I strongly recommend. Okay. Since I'm not sure, you know, it's been a while since we covered it. Oh, yeah, of course. Have to give it out to my man Chesky, of the founder of Fake Four. Right. One of my favorite musicians, probably top 3 live shows I've seen out of anybody, and I go to a lot of shows.
You do.
Yeah, this is very left field. I mean, this is some weird folk. It's almost called like folk hop. Right. Produced by Factor, so. You know, I think that's a good production choice for Chesky because Factor is really into these sort of folky hip-hop beats, and the entire project has a kind of folk feel to it where, you know, it's half rap, half folk numbers, got some other really interesting kind of ideas on there and just ricocheting off. I'm a big fan. I think it's getting kind of slept on. I think people should check it out a lot more. And also a huge recommendation on my part, the new Billy Woods album. Today I Wrote Nothing on Backwoods Studio. Probably the most interesting rapper out of New York these days, in my opinion. And you know, this one's 24 songs, so they're all very short. It's got Elucid on a bunch of cuts. Produced by various people. This guy Messiah Music produced the majority of it, but it's also got Blockhead producing a bunch of cuts on there, and other people. This guy really does put out albums that you listen to many, many times. Like the first time I listened to this was in my car, and I was like, man, this is nothing like what I thought it would sound like. I kind of like tossed it aside, but then I kept revisiting it, and now I'm just in love with it. Like,
and he's pretty prolific too, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He does his thing, and like has his fan base. Always puts these out with big lyric books that really get you to appreciate his whole process of creation. It's another thing that's been recommended recently is this L'Orange and Jeremiah J. The way that I've been hearing people talk about this is that his one was Stick Figure a while ago, which was very highly acclaimed, which is the City something, I forget exactly what that was, but that one was kind of, they said it was his triumphant, sort of like below the heavens-esque type album, and this is more villainous. So this is more dark and sort of brooding.
And again, this is mellow music, right?
And yeah, it's another mellow music thing.
They can do no wrong, right?
They've been rolling out quite a few releases recently. Indeed. And yeah, that does cover a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You could LPs if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
So the Raekwon and Clear Soul Forces, both covered.
Okay.
On record over there.
Also on
Chesky
vinyl.
on record.
Okay.
Jeremiah J. and L'Orange on record over here.
So mellow music, they do vinyl on everything then?
Yeah.
Okay.
They press up most of their.
I didn't realize that.
On vinyl. Okay. Things that have not been touched upon, I guess. There's this album from Aspate, which is something that might be a little below the radar. It's on Galapagos 4. This entire project's produced by Maker, of Quell and Maker fame, Now Again Records fame. Very sort of prolific producer out of the Chicago area. Makes really funky beats. And Aspate is actually a really good rapper from this crew, Maxilla Blue, out of Des Moines. Very much in the vein of like Latif the Truth Speaker or those like Quantum guys. He's got a very like smooth, controlled delivery with lots of style, substance. This also has Quasar and Quell guesting on a bunch of songs on it. It's interesting. Galapagos 4 prints them in these sleeves now. They're very cheap. It's only $12.98 for the record.
Which is a good price for a vinyl nowadays.
Yes,
they tend to be more around the 20 mark, right?
And yeah, and you get a download code for it too.
Good,
so you get all those nice beats on there. This DJ EFN album is really interesting. This is a producer from Miami, and we have this on CD2. But this is the big heavyweight vinyl, $30 deal.
Great cover.
Redefinition Records. Yeah, this is the same guy who did some of the Eminem's cover art, I believe.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. But I guess this guy's a mixtape DJ from Miami. He didn't actually do that much production on here. He has, but man, did he rope in a lot of huge names for this project. I mean, there's like people coming out the woodworks on this thing. Talking about one track features Juvenile, Dead Prez, and Trick Daddy.
Wow.
Got another track with Talib Kweli, Redman, and Recognize. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's a track with MC8, Blue, and Cam. Inspector Deck, Guilty Simpson, MOP, and Burns on one song. It's like, just goes on and on. You're just kind of like looking at this track list like, whoa, man. Keeps yeah, I could just go on for days about all the people who guest on this, but you'd probably be better off checking it out online for yourself.
Reminds me of the Marco Polo project.
Yeah,
he had
yeah,
so
exactly.
many great
he had
people.
so many people on that too. And the last but not least, I want to touch upon this.
Yeah, what is this one?
Uncommon NASA is a producer and rapper out of New York who runs, I believe it's Uncommon Records, which puts out a lot of sort of stranger hip hop stuff. This is only on vinyl. It's a sort of deluxe blue vinyl, New York Telephone, very, very New York cover, I gotta say.
Right.
And Fake 4 actually helped put this out. It's got a lot of people on it. It's got like Billy Woods on a bunch of songs. Prem Rock is on there. Yesh the Poe-D guests on one track too. And yeah, just a really good producer out of New York. It's kind of one of those weird titles that might slip under people's radar, but I recommend checking it out.
And you said vinyl only?
Yeah, it's only on wax here.
Okay.
It comes with download though. I guess that about covers it.
Okay, thank you so much, Elid at Amoeba Music Berkeley.